Hey guys, what's up? Now we're here back in another video. So today I'm going to be getting into my ranked 1v1 guide for using Doppio, but without running. Now the reason for this guide is because it was requested, but I also feel this guide is good because I feel it's good to be able to use a character you want to use without having to play a certain way. With Doppio, you're basically told if you're not running away, you're playing him wrong, right? Because he has low combos, low damage. He has a awakening gauge adder. It's like all of his moves basically encourage you to run away. You get caught, run away some more. And it kind of sucks. You're punished for playing aggressive or just not running away. And I feel like if you like the character, you just want to use Doppio, you shouldn't be forced to play like that to win. And that's what this video is going to cover. If you are looking forward to it, then make sure you like, sub to see more content like this and in the near future. And without any further ado, let's get right into the video. Now, with Doppio, he has really fast moves that are hard to react to, but they don't really combo extend, so it's like it's really whatever, to be honest. Can't really do high damage with the combos, but I think it's good for me to go over them anyway. So you can technically do form ones into ground slam, form ones into lunge strike, and you could also do form ones into the um, knives. Now, with those combos, they all do 15 damage. The move itself does 15 damage. So you have your M1s, and then you have the move. So they're all going to do the same amount of damage. They're all true. They all work. So there's no real like difference in the combos. And they all do less than 30 damage. So that kind of sucks. But at least they all work hand in hand. So if you manage to get M1s that many times, it's gonna add up to like over 60 damage, I guess, but that's never gonna happen in high level gameplay. So yeah, and that's it for his base combos. Moving on to his awakening combos. Now with Doppio combo, the main combo everyone knows. You go into timer raise, then you use M1s into barrage and the M1s, and you finish off with the chop. And that's about it for his combos and base. Impale isn't true, has an evasive, has a counter for his other stuff. So yeah, moving on to the tips and counterplay. Now, my tips for using Doppio, Boss Carl. Boss Carl, you probably want to use, don't, at the beginning of the match, yes, but only in certain instances. You should not use it immediately on Coliseum because then someone could just punish you with like a projectile or just get a combo off on you or something bad could happen. You need to make sure that you're being aware of the map that you're on. Morio, it's a solid map since you have a decent bit of distance, you have time to react. Um, Carnival is a solid map because you can spawn up on the stairs and then your opponents don't walk towards you to get the hit you to cancel it. There's a few instances, so you need to pay attention to the map and the opponent you're fighting before you use boss call. Slam is a pretty good move that goes out almost unreactable speed, but you got to make sure that you're not just throwing it out while your opponent is blocking or expecting it, because then it's just kind of gonna be whatever. It does have short end length though, so if you mess up, you can't immediately follow up with your counter or your three. Um, so yeah, I would also recommend people don't just immediately use your evasive. In my experience, I feel like you should wait for when you're getting M1s, right? Wait till your opponent's M1ing you, then use your evasive because then you have the chance of them wasting their move on your evasive, and so it won't connect essentially, and that's probably gonna be really good for you. So now you don't have to deal with that move for a couple of seconds, and that's about it. His projectile works as any other projectile. Use it mid and long range. Don't use it up close because you can be punished for it. You can do what I showed in the video a little bit ago with form once into the knives. It is true, technically speaking, but it does have end legs so they can block afterwards. I tried it. You can't just immediately use slam. But against a not smarter opponent, you can do that. If your opponent tries to punish you after it, you can use slam to punish them instead. Those are all options you can do. Now moving on to Doppio Awakening. Now with Doppio's Awakening, I feel like it's solid, very solid because of, well, Diavolo. Diavolo is just a, you can use time erase 3 times into 70 damage combo. So I guess my tips are just going to be the same thing that I explained in the combo section. Don't be dumb with time erase. Make sure you're not using it while your opponent rolls. Don't use it while they're using like a large AoE attack or barrage. And I guess try not to use it until your opponent has used whatever counterplay they have to it. So that could be Zipper Dash, that could be Yashio's Ice Skates, just other moves that they can use as like Stanley, moves that they can use to get away from you that could basically make the time erase be a waste. Um, so there's that. Don't forget, if you mess up a time erase, don't forget that your chop is a pretty bad guard break because it's just has a very weird hitbox, can be P blocked, is easy to react to. It does solid damage, but there's all those other problems I just said. The barrage, on the other hand, does guard break, does have a decent hitbox, and people don't expect it really. So you can just go up to a opponent that's backing up and blocking, use the barrage on them, and then they're forced to either A, take the damage and then you get a combo off, or B, they get guard broken and then you get M1s in the chop off. So there's that. Or you can just do M1, 2 M1s in the impale because they can't block immediately after getting their guard broken, which is pretty smart. Now, what's the counterplay to fighting Doppio players? Now, Doppio players, as most people know, typically like to just run away the entire fight, or, well, not the entire fight. They use their slam, use their projectile, use their heavy, then they run away and play cooldowns. If you land a hit on them, they use their evasive and then their counter. That's the basic gameplay that's basically encouraged to an extent with Doppio. So how do you deal with it? And my simple answer is to basically just play around it. With his projectile, you block mid-long range. It's fast, hard to react to, like all of his moves, but if you're already blocking mid-range, you're not going to get hit. Just take into account projectile delay. His slam, they like to do that typically first. So when you get into like that mid-range or dash range, you want to make sure you're holding block so you can block slam. And although it's hard to do, you can kind of punish it just a little bit. It has a little bit of end lag that leaves him a little bit open to be punished. But you could also follow up with counters, so be aware of that. Or you could just mash lunge strike, which is what I like to do in case it fails and my opponent rolls towards me. So you also have to look out for that. And with lunge strike, typically after he's done his slam and his projectile, that's what they just like to do. They wait for you to come to him, and then they use lunge strike. So what you could do is use that to your advantage. Wait for, well, roll towards them, and then when they use lunge strike, well, not when, but roll towards them and then hold block instead of attack them. In this case, you cover the option of slam, cover the option of the counter since you're not going to get hit by the counter. And if they use lunge strike, you can accidentally PB it and then get a punish off against Doppio. But don't hold block for a really long time because then you'll probably get guard broken instead of getting the PB that you're looking for. And the last counter that I want to talk about is his evasive. Now his evasive, not many people know actually, you can punish it. You can't get M1s off because it doesn't have enough end lag, but you can get certain things off, like a time stop is a good example. You can also like use Sha or Snake, so it'll be under him when it's over, those sort of attacks. But you could also use a heavy attack, and that's what I like to do to punish Doppios that I fight. Just have you have to have good timing, but use the heavy so that as the startup ends for the attack, the split personality ends at the same time. So as soon as split personality ends, they get hit with the attack, and then they're forced to take the damage, which is a really good punish option for fighting Doppios, and it's eventually going to rack up in damage, definitely. Now, what's the counterplay to Diavolo? Now, Diavolo doesn't have a lot of counterplay, to be honest. He has 5 time erases and, well, not 5, Jesus Christ, 3 time erases. Um, so what's the counterplay to that? I guess now certain maps like Colosseum and Nightmare World, they have like walls, like like you can fall off the wall and you get to, I guess, just walk off the edge, right? So with those parts of the map, when you're fighting a Diavolo, I recommend you fight around those areas. So when he uses time erase, you can walk off the edge and he'll miss either most of the attack, or you can't follow up M1s into chop immediately after, and that's really good for you. That's just something that I really recommend. I would recommend not holding block after time erase. You should be primarily trying to get a lucky roll or catch him with a counter or a AoE attack, or use like something to protect you, like Squirrel, Sha, lose control, that sort of stuff. Or even using a time stop. A time stop can definitely help, because at that moment he basically, for that time frame, if he exits his time erase, he can't hurt you. So that's all things you can do, but a lot of characters may not have those options. And in maps, like Mario, you don't have that option either. And to be honest, there's not much else I can really say about that. It's kind of just a guessing game. If he gets unlucky and you roll as he uses the ends the time erase, then you get out of it. But that really comes down to just if you're lucky or not, and he's unlucky or not. So there's not much really to discuss there. I guess when you're mid long range, block, because Impale. Try to, when you see him using the chop, hold block. It doesn't have a very long startup, but I mean, if you're looking out for it, it shouldn't be the hardest move to PB in the game. And I would probably say just play defensive against Diavolo, because I'm not saying total because he has a guard-breaking barrage, but there's no real point in playing aggressive considering he has his counter and his evasive still, and I think his evasive has less end lag now, so there's no real point in really playing aggressive against Diablo. Just wait out his awakening, try to punish him where you can here and there, but no need to play really aggressive until at least it's run out. And with that, that concludes my guide for using Doppio in fighting Doppio. I'm now going to be moving on to my ranked 1v1s using him alongside my commentary in the background discussing the gameplay. Alright, moving on to the first match, we are on the Coliseum facing a Kira, a very high rank Kira, a boss Kira. So I was very scared and surprised by that one, because I have not seen a boss rank ever in game. So pleasantly surprised by that one. He threw it as counter. While I did go for M1s, I missed a couple by accident, so that was just unlucky for him. And I was able to get M1s in the lunge strike. I tried to get a slam off, but that didn't work out, and I got a lucky counter off. So right now I don't really have much to do, so I'm just going to knock him back and throw out my knives probably. Roll forward because I knew he was going to definitely roll backwards to try to get a combo off from the projectile, which is something people like to do in the game, even though it's not true. It's just a good bait. He got a counter off. I don't know why I hit that. That was a pretty bad counter, and I tried to get my own off, and that was just terrible. Probably should have used my evasive a little bit ago, or at least M1 him to cancel the attack, and I missed my slam. I'm just I'm a whole mess right now, and he's definitely punishing me pretty heavily for it, and I'm dead. Alright, so now I think, no, he didn't counter, he did something. Oh, there's his counter, so I'm going to get M1s into lunge strike and killed him. Using boss call, he spawned not next to me, so I was pretty lucky with that one. He could have spawned next to me and gotten a combo off on me, which would have sucked. I'm just running away from Shaw right now because there's no real point in me playing aggressive. But he uses guard breaks, so now I can just hold block, don't need to run away from it anymore. And then he tried to push me, so I used my slam. Trying to get M1 so I can go into lunge strike, maybe even bait his counter. Thought I could get he would M1 me, but no, he didn't fall for that one. So he's playing this pretty smart. I just want to get my evasive so I can get some pressure off of me, and he played that quite well. I used a lunge strike just so he could back off because I knew he was going to immediately go for M1. Hit him with the counter finally, so that was great. I sometimes I forget about my knives, seeing as this the X slot, and that's the slot I forget the most about. But I do utilize it right there. Didn't really get any hits, but it's always good to throw out just to get like that 5-10 damage. I got hit by the counter again. I can't keep falling for those. That damage definitely adds up. Hit him with the my own counter, and probably gonna try to get a lunge strike. Okay, using another boss call so I can get awakening, which is nice. I'm probably not gonna awaken to the next stock once I'm at. Oh, okay, I just wanted to get it out of the way, which makes sense because I'll be at like 70 HP. I get to keep this stock going, and that was a pretty bad use of Shaw. In my opinion, you should have saved Shaw for when I used time erase, and then he couldn't do much after that. And then I got M1. That was really nice because I think he was mashing counter. So whenever I messed up on the combo, he could finally knock me back, which is something you have to look out for. Because if you at the end, if you try to use chop, someone could mash use counter, and then you get punished for it. Use my evasive to get out of that sticky situation. Use my barrage. Not much is connecting, to be honest. And he's playing quite aggressive, very aggressive. I just want some peace, so I used time erase. He used his counter, expected that, so I just used impale to finish. Well, thought he would die from that one. Didn't land my counter or my chop, which sucks. He's probably very close to death, and not much is connecting. Finally, my barrage connects. I still have another time erase I can use, so that's good. Probably going to use it relatively soon. I'm just waiting for my barrage back, but it's probably not going to come back by the time my time erase. Oh no, it's back. So that was really smart. He held block and waited for me to use counter because obviously Doppio's are going to either immediately barrage or M1 you. Either way, he would have enough time to react to use counter. Hit me with the projectile, so I'm looking pretty low. I tried to land the lunge strike, didn't work out. Using my evasive because I'm scared. I'm like basically one shot, and I'm not trying to take the and I died. Didn't get a very lucky spawn, so I can't use my boss call, but it is fine. As long as you don't get like a whole game of that, I'm fine with like sometimes I get far away spawns, sometimes I get close range spawns. Just not all game of both because it's not fair on either side. Oh, he was able to grab me. That was nice. That was nice. Not many people are, not including myself, not many people know that you can grab Doppio during his evasive, and I forgot to say that. I have to go back and redo the counterplay part for Doppio. Because that is something you can do. You can punish his evasive quite easily by just timing a heavy attack or a grab at the same time as it ends. Trying to hit him with my projectile, get some M1s, just get some damage off to finish him off. I do have a 2-stock lead right now with him on his final life, which is very, very good. And I'm very impressed with myself, seeing as he's a boss player, but he hasn't awakened yet, which is quite interesting to me, seeing as I made an entire video about this Kira's awakening, and it still stands. It's dumb. It is a dumb awakening. It probably will always be a dumb awakening. It just does dumb damage. It can turn a whole game around quite easily. I think, but he's playing very smart. He's doing the same thing where I drop the combo, he mashes counter. Well, he gets in a combo, he mashes counter in case I drop, which is very smart. He got under 50, I'm assuming, so he uses awakening, which is smart. Using my boss call because I know I'm close to awakening, just to be on the safe side, because you never know. You never know. It's always good to be on the safe side when it comes to these sort of things. So even if you have like a really high lead, it's always good to make sure you get in the boss calls in between awakenings and stocks. and just overall not. Oh, he uses evasive. Okay. Just not getting too comfortable. I tried to block that. That was weird. Probably should have used my counter there so I could not take any damage and hit him at the same time. I have my awakening. I gotta be really careful though, because now it's even. And I'm playing cautious because of the stray cat, that thing. I'm probably gonna move to the right and use counter on it. He actually backed up, which was smart. I think he hit me with that, which he shouldn't have immediately used it. And he hit me with the grab. I'm taking a ton of damage. I kind of just want him off my back. Now I'm at a bad spot. Already, I'm at 20 HP. Like I'm telling you, Kira's Awakening is insane. I get Diavolo off. Probably going to just time erase. Well, no, I'm gonna do that for some reason. There's no point. I can just time erase right now. Literally right now. Trying to get a counter off. Just time erase. Thank you. Okay. He used a counter. I think it might have been immediately. Not sure entirely. Probably gonna try to get an impale off maybe. Nope. Used my counter right there since he dropped combo, doing the same thing he did. Tried to punish his shot with impale, which is something I could have. It would have worked if I did that a little bit earlier. Just being a little cautious going in time erase so his shot can't connect on me. He used his counter at the bad spot because literally it would have been terrible, but he still managed to roll out of the combo, which was well played on his part and something I should have looked out for. Probably gonna try to get a counter off. Did not work, but I'm gonna go for impale just so, because I knew he was gonna go for that other move. Knocked me backwards and just want to get out of this corner. Probably gonna go on time erase one more time, wait for his counter. We'll bait it out and then go for the M1s into the barrage to finish him off. Very well played, GG, great first match. Moving on to the second, not as great match against the Ghiaccio. Now, the whole reason I included this match was because he wasn't like the worst Ghiaccio in the world, but the other match that I had for this video, it got deleted. Like I had like an hour plus long recording, and the final 10 minutes, which is the final match, obviously, because, well, I don't need to play anymore, record anymore. Let me end the recording. I did end the recording, and the match was gone from the video. So that's great. So now we're going to be looking at this match against a pretty mediocre Ghiaccio player who just goes for M1s into freeze the entire match and plays defensive. Like that's his entire. That's all he does the entire. Probably my least favorite characters to play in this game are gonna be Ghiaccio players and Drono players. Drono players because I get touched, I lose 80% of my HP. Same thing for Ghiaccio players, but the main reason they're annoying is just because they all play the same. They just wait, try to get M1s on you, and when they finally get M1s on you, they do this stupid 70 damage combo, and they act like they're just annoying. Just a really annoying character. Good thing this Ghiaccio sucks. He doesn't time his freezes. Like he could have froze me right there while I did time erase, but he didn't. I might have been able to move after that actually because freezes in this game are kind of buggy. That okay. Freezes in this game are buggy, so I probably would have been able to move after the time erase, but whatever. Then he just throws that out and it connects because it's an unp-blockable guard break with a hitbox the size of an entire truck. I'm just holding block now because this is exactly what he's doing. I go close to him, he holds block, then he rolls and tries to get M1s off. It's getting annoying, it's getting old, tired of it. Getting M1s to finish him off to finally get a stock off of him. He still has a stock lead on me, and just trying to get some M1s off, get some damage close to gap. About 60% of my way to awakening. He's just holding block, scared I'm gonna slam, which is understandable considering the attack is basically unreactable. Anytime he gets M1s off, I know he's going to end off a freeze. He doesn't even look out for my evasive anymore. Well, not anymore. He never did, but he just... Yeah, holding block, and I tried to punish the move, but the thing is, when you do that, you have to hold F and then let go as you're mashing the key. Otherwise, it's not going to work, and I didn't do that. He used his... I forget the name of the move. Gently Weeps. He uses Gently Weeps at the same time. Well, a little bit after I use my projectile, which is kind of dumb. He should have waited like just a little bit longer, like maybe 10 seconds, and then use Gently Weep. So then when my move is off cooldown, I basically can't use it, which would have been the smart choice. Not use it when I don't have any projectiles to use, and then it goes away, and then I'm able to use my projectile again. He landed his counter on me, which is 15 damage, and I'm just going to use my evasive, get out of there. Use my counter, and there we go. I'm able to get my awakening. I'm at 50 HP. He doesn't aim his projectiles, so then I get to awaken without taking any damage. And now the match is looking a little bit better in my favor. That's the great advantage of Doppio, is the fact that he gets awakening basically guaranteed faster than your opponent, and he can already start start making gaps between HP and stocks larger. That now looking back on that, that shouldn't have hit. I was like, that looked very weird when I played that, and I remember that moment. That shouldn't have hit. What was that hitbox? Never mind then. I'm taking it back. And then he was somewhat in the air. I don't. It's so weird. Counters are so weird. Countering that move, it's very weird. He almost jumped out of it. Or he did somehow. Maybe I just had bad timing. Probably. He's just holding block. Not. I guess he's scared of it. Oh my god, that missed. But I guess it's fair since the hitbox was weird earlier. Blocking Impale, yeah, I probably shouldn't have used it because I know he's turtling. You trying to use my counter, probably going to use my evasive, then I'm going to go in a timer race and then hit him with a barrage. And then probably that. Okay. You can also, in that situation, if you don't have your slam, delay your timer race a little bit, wait for so you can get the 4M1s into the barrage, but then as it ends, you can still get the M1s off. But you have your Doppio moveset now. You can end off with Slam or Lunge Strike or your projectile or whatever you want to do. I'm not entirely sure what he's doing precisely, but I'm just going to call bar so I can start getting awakening again. He actually aims his projectiles quite nicely this time, so that's good on him. But I have a 2-stock. Sorry, it's late. I have a 2-stock lead on him. Do have my projectile just to see what would happen. Nothing. Trying to get M1s off. He got M1s on me, but I was able to well, I already had Slam. Is it called Slam? Yeah. Slam used. Hit him with my counter, then my projectiles, hit him with M1s because he's not the smartest cookie in the jar. Missed both of his projectiles. Oh, he's awakening. I'm calling boss on his head. I just do this because someone I used to play with, he just did that all the time, so I like doing it just because it's funny. Missed that move. It's Gyatso's awakening is dumb. It is a dumb awakening. I think it's 3 guard breaks because his Blizzard guard breaks. That move guard breaks. He has his other Glacier move that still guard breaks, and he has also a bypass freeze that's an AoE. It's dumb awakening. Stupid. Makes me question everything about the game. It's so dumb. But there's that. Landed that lucky because I walked right into it. Then I just call boss from afar. Now I'm at 75% awakening because you never can be too safe when using Doppio, because a lot of characters nowadays can just 100-0 you almost, so that's not the greatest. Landed Slam, he got his bypass on me, probably just gonna freeze when he goes for M1, so as I did. Terrible timing on his part as per usual. He's probably looking like under 50% of HP right now, and he is good as dead. GG, I guess. And yeah. And with that, I want to say some closing notes for the video, but before that, I want to get into just discuss like what's going to be the next upcoming video. So the next video is going to be guide for, well, not a guide, it's going to be a showcase for the Rancha, Kakyoin, and Mista, their awakenings and their base kit movesets. I might even have like a little combo thing. We'll see about that part, but their guides are not going to come for a little while because I'm going on a road trip with the family for like a week or so. So I'm going to pre-record the showcase upload it basically as soon as the update drops. And after that, you probably won't see a video from me for a little while, sadly, but that's just the way it is. I do appreciate you for sticking along with this video to the very end. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to like on your way out, subscribe if you already haven't so you can see more content like this and support me as a content creator. And without any further ado, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.